We're going to introduce Faith Faucet to the mic, and she is going to give a rundown of how everything is going to go. Please welcome Faith Faucet.
Oh, hello everybody. Hello Portland. Can you hear me okay? Or should I take off this? Okay. So I just wanted to say that I just traveled across the country. I just left from Georgia over a week ago. And on like my second or third day, I found out about Elijah McClain the same way that I did, and so many of us did, through social media. And I looked on the map because I knew I was going to be going through Denver, Colorado, and I looked and I saw that Aurora, Colorado, where Elijah was murdered, was like right there next to Denver. So I contacted my friend Dimitri, who's a musician there, and I said that we should do something. We should do a violin vigil for Elijah. My name is Faith Faucet, and I believe I have faith in the creative spirit of humanity. That no matter what chaotic or horrible things are going on, that we all have access to this abundant resource of creativity, and we access that all the time. Like, you know, that's how culture is born, from like going through pain and going through hard things. And I just thought, yeah, definitely we need to celebrate Elijah and honor Elijah with something beautiful, because of how beautiful that person was and how we all recognize that. And it really just kind of exploded. And there's been vigils all around the country now, violin vigils. And that night in Aurora, there were 2 violin vigils. Violinists had showed up at the end of a big demonstration for Elijah. And at one part, the police came in and tear gassed while violinists were playing, and a bunch of protesters protected them. And then we arrived on the other side and did a vigil that was a super amazing, just epic community grieving jam celebration of music and spirit, and all for Elijah. And I want to say the news was focusing on the police tear gassing. They were very much fixated. I'm sure you guys saw the headlines. And now it's international news, and news sources are calling all of us that were involved. And actually, the 2 black violinists that flew in for the event, these world-class violin players, one of them is named Lee England Jr. Lee called me today and said that the Aurora, like the people the city of Aurora called Lee today. And they said that they had messed up, they shouldn't have tear gassed the violin vigil. And they said, they said, what can we do to make it up to you? And what do you think we should do? Exactly. Arrest the officers that murdered Elijah McClain, convict them. That's what they can do to make up for it. Exactly. And I also just wanted to say that because to bring like our humanity and our creativity and our art to the front lines is a very powerful thing, and it's going to be much more obvious if they try to attack that, if they try to attack our hearts and our souls, if we're putting them out there. And I just want to thank everyone for showing up here, even if you haven't come out to any of the protests, and maybe this is the first one. And I just want to assure you that like we can bring so much. All you have to do is show up, and I'm just so glad that you all showed up here today. So. Okay, so I'm gonna just give you guys a little rundown of how we're going to proceed with the vigil. We're gonna do a moment of silence all together, and I know the moment of silence is just a moment to be present, and we can all look around and see everyone who's here, who's standing up for Elijah and wants to celebrate. Also, maybe to acknowledge the silence that has gone on too long for Black lives, you know, especially if this is your first time showing up. And also just to be present and realize that you're here and we're all here together in this. And so after the moment of silence, we're gonna break the silence with some violin. Chibia is gonna play violin, and all the violins, it's your cue to come in and amplify that voice, and we'll all harmonize together, find a way through. Even if we don't know how it's gonna start, we just have to go for it, you know? And then we're going to have some speakers, and if the violin players and the string players could continue speaking as the speakers come up to speak, and give them accompaniment, listen to them, give them your energy, and feed off of each other so we can amplify the voices in our community and each other. So, but before we go to the moment of silence, I'm going to introduce Chibia.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for coming out. My name is Chibia Ulenwa, and I'm a violinist here in Portland. And I am so excited to see all of you. Like, this is amazing. Really amazing. I'm not very good with words, so I had to write this all out, so bear with me. But this is mostly addressed to us musicians, and so I want you to think about this before we start. Something that has always resonated with me throughout my years of playing, and through the mentorship that I have received from my teachers in the past, is that string instruments embody and emulate the human voice. And in my playing throughout the years, I've always tried to sing through my instrument. That is the most important thing to me. And while playing recently, I've been thinking about how I have been speaking through my instrument, how I have been speaking against injustices, how I have been speaking to grieve, how I have been speaking to rejoice. And I can happily say within myself that that is something that I do often, and that is something that I will continue to do. And so today, for all of us musicians, I want you to think about that. I want you to think about the amount of times that you have chosen to play and to speak and to rejoice through your instrument. How many of times have you chosen to amplify other voices through your instrument? Because that's something that is very, very important for us. And I think that mostly, especially string musicians, we are given music to read, and we are given words that aren't our own, and we are choosing to interpret that. And I know that for some of you today, this may be your first time experiencing your voice. This may be your first step forward into, really trying to advocate for others that are not doing as well as you. And I know that it's going to be hard, but I'm glad that we're all taking this step together. And I hope that you will continue to use your own voice to your instrument after this and forever and time again. Thank you.
All right, so now we're all going to have a moment of silence for Elijah McClain.
Do you hear that? The resonance that lies between us, even when we do not know each other, even when there was no plans. It can be quite uncomfortable, the unplanned, the unknown. I have found that diving into the unknown feels a lot more comfortable with others. When we take the time to listen to one another, how we can fill the gaps. This goes for the humans that are sitting without an instrument as well. When you take the time to listen, to feel, to understand the ones around you, I'd like to think that the more we come together, stand by one another, the more we listen, the more of a chance we'll have to make sure no one is left behind. If we take the time to show up, hold each other, we'll start to understand each other. There is vibrational moments in everything we do. It's beautiful to witness it in a physical example with instruments. We can really see the power of vibration. We each have the power of vibration. We each have the power to resonate, to utilize our frequencies, to stay in touch, to show our love, to empower and to amplify the other vibrations that are around us. I want you to try to pinpoint specific sounds, specific tones. See how they relate to one another. Listen to your breath and the breath of those around you and see how they resonate with each other. I want you to take a moment. Breathe in these frequencies. To breathe in those around you. Elijah McClain was known for one of his signatures. One of his signatures was to give a bow of gratitude when he would enter and exit every room. So if you can hear my voice, I'd like you to turn to the humans around you and give them a bow of gratitude. Thank them for being here. You can do it silently. You can do it with your love and your vibrations and your frequencies, and you can make sure that they are seen and they are heard by simply existing next to you. I'd like to challenge you to take that with you, to take that with us, to bow in gratitude as many times as we can in every situation. Bow in gratitude when you disagree with someone. Bow in gratitude when you are in pain. Bow in gratitude before you embark in an argument and once you leave one. I am standing here bowing to you in gratitude. Every step that we take, may it be in gratitude, in reverence of one another. May we honor the life that exists in each of us. I'm going to continue talking for a moment, but I will need all of my instruments to start to die down. I am going to welcome a very special, very important, crucial piece to our community here in Portland. I want to honor this individual with silence so that her words are absorbed by each of us. May we bless her with our reverence and our attention so that she knows who is behind her, who is here listening to her. We are going to absorb these words so that she is no longer the only one speaking them. I would like to welcome to this microphone Letha, who is the mother of Patrick Kimmins, a man shot and killed here in Portland, Oregon by the Portland Police Bureau. And before we remain silent, let's welcome Letha with some noise and some love. Letha.